when it comes to the type of equipment that you're gonna need to be able to stream, of course, you can always buy the most expensive thing. I mean, look at everything I have in this room, or actually not really in there at the moment. Welcome back to StreamClass. For me, I've turned my stream into this really wacky interactive thing, but to have just the standard stream, there's really not much equipment that you need. If you're going to be on camera, you just need a simple camera. You'll need a microphone if you're going to talk to your stream, and then you're either going to need the computer that you're streaming the gaming off of, which again, I don't recommend, but if you don't have that, then obviously a capture card to be able to stream from your console or from a separate stream or game PC. And if you want all three of these things, the capture card, the mic, and the camera, sometimes it can seem like it's going to be a little pricey, but it really doesn't have to be. For instance, this video right now is being shot on my phone. I use my phone for other things, meaning the cost of this is zero. And you may be thinking, okay, well, you're shooting a video on your phone, sure. But there's also ways to be able to use your phone on stream. There's a lot of different programs that I'll list below in the description, the different things that you can use depending on whether you're Android or iPhone, and be able to use those as your stream camera. Additionally, aside from the things that I'm going to mention, you can use what's called Video Ninja, VDO.Ninja, Ninja. It's a website that allows you to have a browser source of another device, such as your phone camera. Okay, so you don't want to use your phone as your camera. That's fine. Depending on the computer that you're streaming off of, if you're using a laptop, most of those have a webcam in them, and some all-in-one towers or PCs also have them. Also, don't forget, you can stream from a Mac. So if you have a MacBook or an iMac, both of those have a pretty decent camera in them that you can use for streaming. In fact, the clip that I've now put into multiple videos now, I'll go ahead and put it here. Is that him singing? You have a beautiful voice, sir. This is through an iMac camera, so don't be wary about that. Additionally, if you do just want to have a standalone camera, there are very, very cheap, affordable options. For $30, the camera that you'll see here in this clip. Oh, there he goes.
Your muscles look so happy.
Oh, okay. Is just fine. One of the things that OBS has done in the past year is to make it to where camera settings will stay. So what we'll actually do is we'll probably do a separate video on camera settings, just to make sure that your camera looks the way you want it to. But a $30 camera can look pretty decent with just that new OBS feature. Okay, so camera, you've got your phone, you've got a $30 camera, you've got a laptop camera, whatever it may be. Cool. Now we need to move into microphone. I've talked about before in that first clip I showed you, that microphone is also $30. Microphones do not have to be expensive when it comes to streaming. The advantage that you're gonna have with your microphone is gonna come in with filters, which click up at the top right of the screen right now to listen into more about audio filters, to make sure that whatever microphone you're using, that you have the filters on it appropriately. And that's for a $30 mic or a $400 mic. All of them may need to be adjusted to cater to your voice. Additionally, aside from the video I mentioned earlier, I'm also going to be making another video on that, on audio as far as levels and filters. When it comes to what mic to get first, I always recommend starting with a USB microphone. A lot of people will talk about XLR just because it is, more high grade, more used by professionals, and that is perfectly fine. However, a lot of the USB microphones today are really rivaling that of the XLR microphones. Not only that, but just USB is a lot simpler to work with when you're just starting out, and you don't want everything to be complicated to where when the microphone breaks or the camera breaks, you've got to scramble and figure out 100 different things, versus a USB mic is generally going to be pretty reliable about staying connected, about, you know, keeping the settings that you have for it. And so it's honestly going to be my best choice to go for when it comes to a microphone. And again, price really does not matter anymore. USB microphone technology has gotten pretty good even at those lower budget options. Obviously, right now I'm filming on a green screen, which in both of the clips that we saw today, both of them were on a green screen. You don't need a fancy set. One of the things I wish I had is old clips of my very, very old stream where it was all contained in this room. I'm not gonna show the room because it is a mess, but this room is my bedroom. So here I have my personal computer where I do things at. Here I have my desk to eat, whatever. My bed is literally right in front of you guys. I've got, you know, all my furniture and stuff over here. But when I used to film in here, it would be on a green screen and I would have the camera facing my desk so that I would be able to go through. Actually, there is a clip. Let's throw that in here. Okay, that's it. So again, for that clip, the camera is coming from the iMac itself, pointing at a green screen, not the one I'm using right now. It's actually a separate one that I'm looking at. Ironically, I have like 18 green screens. Anyway, so pointed at me, pointed at a green screen to block out everything behind me, which is a lot of stuff that was behind me. In fact, another thing, this video right now, lighting, a lot of people will tell you that lighting is super, super important, and it can be, but don't overspend on lighting. Right now, I am lit by one singular light bulb. Is it helping the green screen? No. So I would recommend getting a second light bulb, having one pointed here, one pointed here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. So one pointed at each side so that you'll get rid of the shadows that are back there. But once you've got that, as far as you're doing with the green screen, that is really all you need. You don't need fancy lighting. You don't need like what I have now with the RGB lighting, because that's gonna mess up your green screen look actually. So you definitely don't want that. You just want two plain lights pointed at you, gets rid of shadows, you're good on your green screen. If you're going to do an actual setup, think about how you're going to set up your background first. So how I have my brick wall and the shelving and everything. If you're gonna add lights to that, add it to that, and then focus on the lights in front of you. But again, even for that, I would suggest just a light on each side. That way they can not go too far behind you to get everything splattered with light, but you can still see everything behind you and still be very well lit yourself. And lastly, we move on to your actual game content. So are you going to stream and play on the same computer? Again, the reasons I don't recommend it is because it is going to slow down the performance of your game. Using OBS or Streamlabs desktop is a very intensive task on your computer. So you may think that, you know, oh, well, when I'm not streaming, the game works fine. However, when you add on that extra layer of streaming, it's almost as if the computer is playing two very high intensity games at the same time. So it causes things to lag, it causes your frame rate to go down. The game experience for you and for your viewers may not be very great when you're working with one PC as far as streaming and playing. Now, if you have a gigantic PC with just the biggest stats and everything in it, the biggest parts, then sure, you may be able to. What I'm referring to is like if you have an AMD Threadripper in your computer. If you don't know what that is, I probably wouldn't do stream and game in the same computer. The alternative is if you have, like what I had when I started doing Fall Guys content. Of course, Fall Guys is only on PC at that time. what I did is I had a very old laptop that barely ran anything, but it was able to run Fall Guys. I would plug that in to the capture card like you would your PlayStation or your Switch or your Xbox, and it would feed into my iMac, being the stream computer. So that way neither computer has too much going on within it. One is used just for the game, one is used just for the stream. Now, with that, of course, there is going to be cost. So if you don't have that second computer, that's going to be pricey. If you don't have a capture card, I hate to say it, but I don't recommend getting a capture card under $75. Anything lower than that, you're going to be pretty much sacrificing the quality of how it's going to look. It'll look good for you still, but when you're putting it out to stream, it could look a little cloudy or it may be grainy. There's lots of different things that can happen when we go into a lower quality capture card. So definitely at least 75. I recommend just the base model of either the AverMedia or the Elgato. So I want to say it's the AverMedia Live Gamer. I'll put that on screen what it actually is. And then right now I want to say it is the Elgato HD60 S Plus. If I'm mistaken on that, I'm also going to put that on screen. What I use even still today is an HD60S. So it's the grade before that, and it still works just fine. And so that way, if you are streaming off of console, you already have your console, so you just need the capture card. If you're streaming off of another PC, you treat it the same. It is just there to be the screen and the game, just like your console is. It's just the game and the screen that you're going to be looking at. We don't want to change any settings on the game PC. This can be a little different if you're going into voice chat within a game. That's something we'll look into in a later video. So as far as the basics of the things that you'll need, that's pretty much it. A computer, obviously, to be able to stream on. A microphone, $30. A camera, $0 if it's your phone or your webcam from your computer, or $30 if you're buying a webcam. And then a capture card, $75 to don't really spend more than $200, honestly. If you've stuck around to this point in the video, thank you so much. Leave a comment telling me which word I probably mispronounced during this video to let me know that you did make it this far. And also, I want to let y'all know that I am slightly tweaking how videos will be going up on this channel. So I've realized that the goal that I set out to with this channel and what I've actually produced for this channel so far have been very different things. What I wanted to produce for this channel is smaller form content. So this video, for example, I talked about 3 separate things. But what I want to do is, what we'll do is each month, we'll say, for example, we'll have this longer form video. So we have this one where we talked about the 3 separate parts of what you'll need for a stream. Then I'll make smaller videos focusing in on each of those 3. So we'll talk about microphones. We'll have another video where we'll talk about cameras, and we'll have another video where we'll talk about dual PC streaming as well as capture cards. That way it can be more focused on specifically what you are looking for when you're coming to the channel looking for advice. So hopefully that helps out a lot for everybody, because that is more tailored to my original vision with this channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way, if I do put out a video that seems like something that you've already mastered, give it a quick look by. Maybe you'll learn a tip or a trick that you didn't know. And I will see y'all next time on StreamClass.